now let's open session 4. We will zoom out a little bit of the valley and focus on the more technical and scientific considerations and the quality of the dark sky in the mountains. And we will do this with 2 wonderful experts, with biologist Stefanie Pontasch, who you have seen before, and also astronomer Andreas Händel, who is with us now as we speak. Stefanie, let us start with you. You have been involved with dark sky presentations in a number of international conferences over the past months, with audiences in policy, in regulation, in the EU, nationally, in audiences in business, but also citizen engagement. How important is this topic nowadays?
Clearly, it's a very important topic, and it's actually not only astrotourism that is trending. It seemed like a niche for quite a while, but it's getting more and more trending. And quite ironically, but also with European events going on, like European Green Deal, also the war, also light pollution gets more and more attention. People want to save money, want to save energy, so light pollution gets attention. Also with Corona and what we have experienced, health tourism, as well as the topic of ecotourism, is more focused on. That's where astrotourism hands in.
Sure, and let's in this case hear from Andreas Händel. When you look back now to the early days of your profession, and now at the dark sky tourism offer in the Kaunertal, all established, at this group of people from all over Europe, all here ready to listen and to go and do something about it. How has this field developed from your perspective over the years? What do you observe and what gives you hope, Andreas?
Yeah, hello. The problem is that when I started with astronomy, it's quite long ago, 55 years or so, or even longer. At this moment, you had not so much light pollution like we have now, so it was much easier to see the sky, to see the stars. Nowadays, especially during the last years with the coming into the market of the LED lighting, which is brighter than everything else and which is also now becoming cheaper than everything else before and consumes less energy than all the other lightings before. Light pollution is increasing incredible. We just had some new studies that showed us how much light pollution increases, for instance, in Europe. And if you look now at the Alps in general are quite dark in Europe. And so the Alps have already been since many years, have attracted amateur astronomers to go there because you have the altitude and you have also more darkness because you are far away. Well, there is a problem, of course. We just heard it, that you have these skiing areas with a lot of light. But I think I'm quite sure, and I see that it happens in the Kaunertal, there are possibilities to reduce it. There are many ways to reduce light pollution. When I've been for the first time in Kaunertal together with the 2 Steffis and also with Andreas, it was very curious because we had very bad weather. It was cloudy and we drove up to the glacier to the 2,400 meters and everything was so bright, so many lights, but they had the opportunity to change it in the next nights. It was very, very good. Yeah. And it's also important to have these dark areas to show the people, to show especially the younger people how a dark sky looks like, what you can see under such a dark sky. That's what Ernst Bartel just told. That's ecological education, because people only love, or people can only estimate what they know. Yeah, if they have seen such a wonderful sky that you can experience there in this Alp Valley, then you can do something against light pollution. So that's also the problem, because everywhere it's getting brighter, that you have places where it is still dark and where you should keep it dark. So this promotes, of course, tourism, yeah, that people want to go there. You can market it, yeah, and that's very important. Just to say another thing, what for the Kaunertal is very important, I think, when I went up there, and I've been also on the other side of on the Italian side, it's interesting to see that not far away from the Kaunertal, more than 5,000 years ago, a man went over the Alps, yeah, at sea, and he had to orient. He had not the GPS yet, yeah. He certainly had to orient himself with the stars to find his way over the mountains. That's, I think, also very important that you should mention in the Kaunertal.
Yes, and we are sure that many of us here and of the participants have heard of this Ötzi already, and maybe we can post a link also to the museum in the chat here. Thank you so much for pointing this out, Andreas. Of course, this is all in the same region here. Now, you hinted on one aspect already, and I want to hear more about this. Where do you see the potential, but also maybe the limits to multidisciplinary cooperation in star tourism development?
Well, you see, just astronomy is, or the dark night sky, that's just one part of, I think, nature tourism. Yeah, if you go to a protected area like the Kaunertal, you want to see the nature, but you do not only want to see or you should not only look at the nature during day, but you should also look at the nature during night. Yeah. Unfortunately, I had not yet the time to see too much from the Kaunertal. There seem to be many nice places there. But I think that is very important. Yeah. If you look at, for instance, yeah, that's what you just discussed about the danger that you perhaps influence it negatively. But I think especially with the dark sky tourism, you will not influence it too much. You must do it like in all protected areas. You have to direct this, to organize this tourism, that not people are running everywhere. We have this problem in many other dark sky places with very protected areas where you're not even not allowed to enter during day. So at night you shouldn't also not go in there. So it's really important, just as has been said, that in a nature park you can organize a lot. You can, how shall I say, you can put it in the right way.
Sure, and maybe this is also what Sarah hinted on before. What's the potential of bringing the citizens in, the potential of citizen science, but also of co-creating the science communication experience together?
Yeah, you can. I do not know exactly what you mean now, but you can engage the people, for instance, also in making dark sky estimates. How dark is the sky? You can count the stars. Globe at Night is called. So you can participate in determining how good this night sky is. Okay, we can do more accurate measurements, but we do them with quite simple methods. Yeah, so you can help, and you can also control it. You can see if when the communities, they change their lighting to full cutoff that does not emit the light upwards, then you can see that the sky becomes better and you can improve the sky. And that's also very important, I think. Yeah.
And help us with this question. What's the Bordel class of the Kaunertal Valley? Please illuminate this to the participants. It would probably also be one of the education elements that you would teach the citizens of the valley if you ask them to measure the sky together with you, Andreas.
Yeah, about Bordel scale is an American amateur astronomer who has invented it. And it says on the scale, if you have a very dark sky, it's Bordel scale 1. And if you have a very bright sky, it's Bordel scale 9. Yeah, but I think in the Kaunertal, I estimate it's about Bordel scale 2 or something like this, because you can see everything that's very dark. You can see the zodiacal light. You can even see the Gegenschein. These are phenomena that can only be seen if you have a very, very dark sky. You can also, what I like to look at, one of the large planets that you can see with the naked eye, but many people do not know that you can see it. And even the astronomy books, it's not written. That's, for instance, Uranus, or even one of the planetoids, asteroids. You can also see them with the naked eye, but only at very, very dark places. And that's the advantage also you can do there. Yeah, and Kaunertal is really, really a very, very dark place. Yeah.
So, Andreas, because we missed you in the introductory part, you are based in Germany. You're not based in Austria. I think you're calling us from Osnabrück, or yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm from profession. I'm astronomer. I've done for many years, nearly 33 years. I have worked here in the planetarium, in the Nature Science Museum, and I've done this. For instance, learned this there, that this star guides, I made it with the artificial sky in the planetarium, but telling stories to the children, that was always one of the most attractive shows we could offer in the planetarium. But it was done not like in many modern planetariums where you have multimedia shows. We have this too, but I did this always live to tell the children, but even the older people loved it very much to hear the stories about the sky and so on. And it made a lot of fun. It was very nice. And you can transfer it to of course, you can also transfer it to the natural sky. Yeah.
Of course, of course. And when you first came to explore the mountain night, what was it that you personally learned, even though you're such an insider and you know so much? What has been a learning, a discovery for you personally in the exploration of the night here in the Alps?
Yeah, what I learned is that it varies a lot. I have been already 6 or 7 years ago that Steffi Suchi told me about another valley in the Alps that they want to become a star park. I went there. It was really dark there, but I was a little bit disappointed, because you have only a very small hole, because the mountains were so whole and you could see only a very small part of the sky, and it was extremely dark. And afterwards, I went to another place that's the Bieler Höhe. It's to the west of the Kaunertal. I knew that many amateur astronomers from Germany, from Switzerland, from Austria, and even from Italy went there for observing, because there it is very dark and quite high. But I went there, and I also was disappointed, because it was very bright because there was a lot of construction there. I think now it is much darker. But then in Kaunertal, it was really impressive to see that even in the valley, it's very dark. The village is very small. There's not very much light. And then you have the long street up through the valley. Well, unfortunately, if the light up on the glacier is sometimes very bright, especially if the machines are running. Yeah, but if you go up and you can get more, you have the impression to get nearer to the stars the higher you go, though it is not very high, but the atmosphere is getting clearer, and it's really impressive to see this.
Well, thank you so much for joining us with your perspectives on this, Andreas. On that note, let's close this session and move